There's something remarkable about walking, about moving slowly through the world, noticing the texture of the pavement beneath your feet, the shifting patterns of light and shadow, the way wind carries distant sounds. Every step reminds us that we exist, that we are here, and that life unfolds beneath and around us in ways we rarely take the time to see. The roads are simple, quiet, and unassuming. Narrow streets, small corners, stretches of greenery tucked between buildings. Yet in this simplicity, there is abundance. Abundance in light, in shadow, in pattern. Each leaf, each stone, each whisper of air carries a story, a rhythm, a pulse. The world is speaking, and when we slow down, we begin to hear. We live in a society that constantly tells us our time is a resource to spend, a commodity to sell, that our worth is measured in productivity, in output, in the things we acquire. And yet, in these quiet streets, the rules feel different. Here, value is not something that can be quantified. Here, it is felt. It is experienced in the way sunlight touches the pavement, in the gentle rustle of leaves, in the call of a bird hidden somewhere above. Even in a town, even amid streets and rooftops, there is life. The distant hum of cars fades into silence. The patterns of clouds shift slowly, as if reminding us to slow down as well. These are not distractions, they are invitations, guiding us back to awareness, back to presence, back to the understanding that we are part of something larger than ourselves. As I walk, I think about the passing of time, not the minutes we count on a clock, but the richness of moments. How often do we hurry through our days, moving from one obligation to the next, our minds elsewhere, our hearts half closed, and yet, step by step, life opens up. Every glance, every sound, every subtle scent becomes noticeable. It becomes a way to connect, to remember that being alive is enough. Notice the cracks in the pavement, the tiny weeds pushing through. Notice the worn edges of a fence, the subtle colors in the brickwork. Even the smallest things hold beauty when we pay attention. Life is in the details, in the unnoticed, in the overlooked. And in noticing, we remember how much is around us that cannot be bought or sold, only observed, appreciated, and carried within. Sometimes I imagine walking with someone who has forgotten how to see. I would point to the curve of a branch, reaching overhead, the way a shadow stretches across a wall, the subtle dance of light on a puddle. And in naming these small wonders, we reconnect not only with the world, but with ourselves. Life is not in the grand gestures alone, it is here in these quiet, unassuming moments. Even in solitude, there is connection. The rhythm of our steps mirrors the heartbeat of the town, the echo of the world. Every breath, every glance, every movement reminds us that we are alive, that our presence matters, even if in small, subtle ways. Being alive is reason enough to honor the gift of time, the gift of awareness, the gift of consciousness. And yet, so often we forget. We forget that we deserve the freedom to experience life fully, without constant calculation, without measuring ourselves against the expectations of others. We deserve to wander slowly, to linger, to breathe deeply, to notice. We deserve to feel peace, to feel calm, to feel at home in the world simply by being present. Walking itself becomes a meditation, not because it is perfect or because the streets are silent, but because it demands attention. It asks us to notice what is underfoot, around us, inside us. It invites us to hear the small symphonies of life, the subtle movement of leaves, the echo of distant footsteps, the occasional call of a bird. These sounds remind us that the world is alive, even when we think it is still. We often measure life by what we produce, what we earn, what we accumulate, but the truest measure of life is the depth of our noticing, the moments that bring gratitude, the instances that allow awe to enter, the awareness that we are part of a living, breathing, interconnected whole. Even the road itself teaches. It curves, it rises, it narrows. Sometimes it surprises us. Sometimes it challenges us. But with each step, we learn something: patience, openness, curiosity, reverence. And the quiet streets of a town like Lowestoft, seemingly ordinary, are filled with these lessons. I think about companions on this journey, the friends who leave traces of love, the dogs who walk with us silently, the neighbors who unknowingly become part of the rhythm of our days. Even when we walk alone, we are never truly alone. The town, the sky, the wind, the earth, they are companions, teachers, guides. They hold us, remind us, shape us. There is grace in this continuity. Life sustains itself, endlessly renewing, endlessly forgiving. The air we breathe, the water that flows, the soil beneath our feet, all of it moves in cycles beyond our control, yet always in harmony with existence itself. And we, here and now, are part of it. Walking teaches us understanding, understanding that the simplest acts, the quietest observations, the slowest steps can open doors to meaning, to joy, to reverence for the life we have been given. So we walk and breathe and notice. We notice the world around us, the life within us, the connections that thread through it all. Each step reminds us we are alive, and that alone is enough to claim a good life. We do not need to rush. We do not need to compete. We do not need to prove. We simply need to be present, to engage, to honor the gifts freely given. And in doing so, we create a life of connection, awareness, and gratitude. The streets stretch ahead, quiet and unassuming, but alive with possibility. Each step is a chance to remember that being here, being aware, being alive is a privilege, a miracle, a gift. And in this gift, we find purpose, not in striving endlessly, not in acquiring endlessly, but in noticing, feeling, appreciating, honoring the world we walk through, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment.